So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Beloved World Web Talks 126th episode. In the last 125 episodes, nearly 2,000 school leaders have participated on this very platform, shared their ideas, opinions, observations and innovations on the K-12 space, or to put it very simply, what's new and what's going on in schools. इन पिछले करीबन 125 एपिसोड्स में हमने बहुत सारे लोगों से, बहुत सारे शिक्षाविदों से जानने की कोशिश करी कि शिक्षा अब कहाँ जा रही है, वेयर इज एजुकेशन एक्चुअली गोइंग टू, और हम शिक्षा करवा क्यों रहे हैं। पहले क्या का जवाब ढूंढ रहे थे, अब क्यों का ढूंढ रहे हैं। एंड इन सवालों के जवाबों से व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू इज टू क्रिएट द वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट रिपोजिटरी ऑफ आइडियाज इन द एजुकेशन स्पेस। हमने अभी तक करीबन 500 ऐसे इनोवेशंस और आइडियाज चूज किए, जिसमें से 100 बहुत ही बढ़िया निकले जो अभी दुनिया भर के स्कूलों में एक्सपेरिमेंट हो रहे हैं। एंड ऐसा हमें उम्मीद है करीबन 4,500 से ज्यादा स्कूलों में दुनिया भर में इन पर एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन हो रहा है। इनके जो फाइनल आउटकम्स आएंगे वो हम सभी से शेयर करेंगे, सो दैट बिकॉज वी बिलीव इन अ वेरी सिंपल थिंग दैट आइडिया इज नोबडीज प्रॉपर्टी, और आइडिया की डेमोक्रेसी हर जगह और हमेशा होनी चाहिए। So before we start, just to give you a little idea and the rules of the game, the way we play it. So the Beloved World Web Talks is a timed platform. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. We respect you a lot. We respect your ideas a lot. लेकिन हम चाहते हैं कि ये चीज समय पर खत्म हो और सब इसका मैक्सिमम मजा ले सकें. So when we talk of ideas and debating, this is a kind of a sprint. ये आइडिया मैराथन नहीं है. तो आपके पास 100 मीटर की रेस है. सबसे बढ़िया आइडियाज दे दीजिए, सबसे बढ़िया आपकी ऑब्जर्वेशन शेयर कर लीजिए, and we'll go on to the next speaker then. More importantly, this is a bilingual platform. आप हिंदी या अंग्रेजी में से कोई भी भाषा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, कोई तीसरी भी कर सकते हैं. The only challenge, I won't get it, but you can still use it, because भाषा कभी भी ज्ञान का पैमाना नहीं होता. भाषा केवल एक enabler है, and let's keep it that way. And so that we enjoy today's session even more, let's get geared up. And आज का सेशन हम शुरू करें. So the composition of Beloved World Web Talks is very simple. हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं एक इंडस्ट्री लीडर, एक हायर एजुकेशन लीडर, and then a lot of school leaders या opinion leaders from the education space. तो हम पहले जानने की कोशिश करेंगे what does the higher education sector think about things, then let's go to the industry and then to the school leaders. And before I start, the topic for today is something very interesting, because ये अभी बहुत ज्यादा एप्ट हो गया है क्योंकि इसका जवाब अभी किसी के पास नहीं है, क्योंकि कोविड ने बहुत सारी चीजें जो हम पढ़ते आ रहे थे, समझते आ रहे थे, उन सबको डीबंक कर दिया. So is the objective of education changing? क्या शिक्षा का ध्येय बदल रहा है? Because शिक्षा का ध्येय सबके लिए अलग है. When we talk of democracies, it is propaganda. When we talk of an educator, it is ज्ञान. When we talk of the society, it is about setting the society's rules. And when you talk of industry, it's kind of a repository for the HR. तो हमें अभी ये समझना है कि शिक्षा और इसका ध्येय क्या बदल रहा है. So thank you so much everybody once again for participating and being a part of the Beloved World Web Talks 126th episode. Let me invite the first guest for today to share her opinion on is the objective of education changing. A very warm welcome to Dr. Niharika Vora, Vice Chancellor, Delhi Skill and Entrepreneurship University from Delhi. Niharika ji, over to you for the next 5 minutes to initiate the roundtable to set the ball rolling on is the objective of education changing. A very warm welcome.
Welcome and thank you all for joining in and giving me the opportunity to share. So I have been thinking about this topic since a couple of days, since I thought I would be part of this thing, and I have started thinking about what do you think is really the objective of education? Because अगर हम ये कह रहे हैं कि ऑब्जेक्टिव चेंज हो रहा है, तो पहले ये तो पता हो कि ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है. एंड मैंने थोड़ा बहुत अपने पुराने किताबें ढूंढ कर सोचा कि क्या है ऑब्जेक्टिव एजुकेशन का. एंड मैं आपको बहुत सिंपली, ओके आप मेरे को स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं करने देंगे, दैट्स ओके. मैंने कुछ अपने बहुत जो who are seen as leaders in education उनकी बातें पढ़ी. और अगर हम देखें तो चाहे वो शेकोस्लोवाकियन फिलोसोफर्स हैं, चाहे वो फ्रेंच फिलोसोफर्स हैं, चाहे वो इंग्लिश फिलोसोफर्स हैं, एंड चाहे वो ग्रीक फिलोसोफर्स हैं, किसी ने ये नहीं कहा कि जो एजुकेशन का ध्येय ये है कि आपको एक अच्छी नौकरी मिल जाए और आपका फ्यूचर सिक्योर हो जाए. इनफैक्ट रूसो ने कहा था कि बच्चे की जो नेचुरल इंक्लिनेशन है उनको ट्रेन करना एजुकेशन का ध्येय है। या फिर जॉन लॉक ने कहा था कि मेंटल डिसिप्लिन इंस्टिल करना and secular rather than religious education का ध्येय है। इनफैक्ट फ्रोबल एंड जॉन ड्यूई, जो दोनों काफी फेमस हैं इन द एरिया ऑफ एजुकेशन फिलॉसफी, कहते हैं कि द एम ऑफ एजुकेशन इज कंप्लीट लिविंग एंड एजुकेशन इज अबाउट लिविंग अ लाइफ, नॉट अ प्रेपरेशन फॉर लाइफ। सो अगर मैं उन, एंड गांधी जी ने भी बहुत क्लियरली कहा था कि लिटरेसी एजुकेशन नहीं है, और वो एजुकेशन जो हमको गुड एंड बैड में डिस्क्रिमिनेट करना नहीं सिखाती है, उस एजुकेशन का कोई मतलब नहीं है। अगर मैं इन अपने इतने जो थिंकर्स हैं उनके पद चिन्हों पर चलूं और उनकी तरह सोचूं, तो मेरे को लगता है एजुकेशन का ध्येय बदलने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। अगर एजुकेशन का ये मतलब है कि हम एक इंसान को जीना सिखाएं, उसको अपने अंदर की जो खूबियां हैं उसको समझना सिखाएं, and if education is really about finding a purpose, meaning and vocation in life, then then actually education does not need to change. However, I think in today's day, a lot of the thought is that education provides security for future, and I think that is not okay. That is where we need to change. It is not a security for future. It is about able to recognize that I can enjoy, I can live, I can completely be up to my potential if I can do something, learn something which makes me both independent and interdependent. सो वो विजडम कि मैं दूसरों के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट हूं, और वो कैपेबिलिटी कि आई एम एक्चुअली सेल्फ इंडिपेंडेंट। पैराडॉक्स है, बट वो पैराडॉक्स को लिव करना अगर सिखा सकती है एजुकेशन, देन दैट इज द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन। एंड दैट इज व्हाई I decided to, leave my secure world of being a professor of OB at IIM Ahmedabad to take up this leadership position, to look at the skill and entrepreneurship space, because I feel today there are only 2 or 3 or 4 professions that people think of. CA बनना है, lawyer बनना है, engineer बनना है, doctor बनना है, जो कि आपको बिल्कुल आपको ऐसा लगता है कि जीवन, ये पूरे वर्ल्ड में यही 4 प्रोफेशन है और फिर बाद में मैनेजर बनना है, रादर देन सेइंग कि क्या हम कैन आई बी अ गुड वुड वर्कर, कैन आई बी somebody who my vocation is to help other people, can I learn skills that will help me help other people, can I say that my vocation is a passion for languages, can I learn languages to be able to make a living out of it, can I be I love cleanliness, can I make hygiene management and cleanliness a vocation for myself. So मेरा जो पूरा thought है कि शायद दिल्ली स्किल एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप यूनिवर्सिटी या फिर एक possibility hai to carve out a space where we can say you can come choose a vocation rather than a job for life. तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि अगेन एजुकेशन का ध्येय ये होना चाहिए कि मैं वो कर सकूं, जो मैं वो सीखूं, वो समझूं जो शायद मेरे को पसंद हो, and that is really what one is looking at. So so shortly, and since you will now
Thank you so much, Niharika ma'am. The time was over, लेकिन आपने बहुत अच्छे से सेशन को शुरू कर दिया, and you gave it the right start कि एजुकेशन की अभी तक जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रहे हैं, जो इतने सारे फिलोसोफर्स ने, एजुकेशन फिलोसोफर्स ने डिफाइन किए, अगर उन्हें ही माना जाए तो शिक्षा के शायद ऑब्जेक्टिव को बदलने की जरूरत नहीं है। बट व्हाट वी फाइंड राइट नाउ इज कि हमारे लिए शिक्षा केवल एक एफडी के समतुल्य हो गई है। व्हाट वी लुक एट एजुकेशन इज वेरी सिंपल, दैट हमने बच्चा पढ़ा दिया तो इसने एक अच्छी नौकरी मिल जानी है, जिसने फाइनली हैज टू मेक गुड लॉट्स ऑफ मनी। तो व्हेन वी थिंक ऑन दीज लाइंस, बिकॉज वो ही है जो अभी मास या पॉपुलर ओपिनियन है, जिसको हर दिन हर एजुकेशनिस्ट, हर मतलब अपने पेरेंट्स और अपनी कम्युनिटी के साथ लड़ झगड़ रहा होता है कि थिंक बियॉन्ड दिस, केवल वो 4 प्रोफेशंस हो, जो आपका प्रोफेशनल ब्लॉकेड है, उसके बाहर निकलिए। आपने जिन बातों से शुरू किया, ट्रेनिंग द नेचुरल इंक्लिनेशन, मेंटल डिसिप्लिन, एजुकेशन इज लिविंग अ लाइफ एंड नॉट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर अ लाइफ, क्योंकि हम पूरी शिक्षा में अभी यही कर रहे होते हैं कि केवल प्रिपरेशन करवा रहे होते हैं। गांधी जी का गुड और बैड की डिसीजन मेकिंग या विजडम की डिसीजन मेकिंग एक बहुत बढ़िया आइडिया, इस पे बहुत सारे स्कूल्स ने लॉकडाउन में इंप्लीमेंट किया। वन स्कूल इन सुंदरबंज इन उड़ीसा स्टार्टेड एन एक्टिविटी कॉल्ड विजडम डायरी। उन्होंने कहा बच्चों को रोज एक विजडम डायरी लिखिए कि आपने क्या अच्छा और क्या खराब किया दिन भर में, एंड फाइनली उसको जज कीजिएगा कि क्या हुआ। One of the ideas that was done by one school, Springdale Academy in Assam, in Guwahati, they started something called the balance sheet of time. टाइम मैनेजमेंट सिखाने के लिए बच्चों को टाइम की बैलेंस शीट भरना सिखाया कि टाइम को करेंसी समझिए, इसमें अपना कैश इन हैंड ढूंढिए, असेट्स ढूंढिए, लाइबिलिटी ढूंढिए, एंड ट्राई टू फिगर आउट हाउ टाइम वर्क्स फॉर यू। एंड फाइनली जहां पे आपने बात को कंक्लूड किया, चूज अ वोकेशन एंड नॉट जस्ट अ जॉब। कुछ ऐसा चुनिए, बिकॉज हमें अभी तक इतनी सारी बातों में जो एक बात समझ में आई कि आपकी लाइफ का जो प्रोफेशन है या जिस चीज पे आप काम करने वाले हैं, वो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि आप उसे तब भी करने को तैयार हो जब आपको कोई उसके लिए पे करने को तैयार ना हो, because that's where you'll really find your salvation as far as your profession is concerned. So thank you so much Niharika ji for sharing this idea, these opinions with us. और बहुत सारे आपने जो टेक्स्ट्स या बहुत सारे फिलोसोफर्स को कोट किया। Before I invite the next speaker, he's somebody who has added a very different kind of an edge to the business in India. दुनिया भर से ये सीखे हैं, IIMs के अंदर इनकी बहुत सारी केस स्टडीज आज भी पढ़ाई जाती हैं, और गूगल पे बड़े आसानी से इनको आप ढूंढ सकते हैं, द मॉल मैन ऑफ इंडिया। देश में बहुत सारे मॉल्स लेके आए, मॉल मैनेजमेंट पे ही इज एन अथॉरिटी हु हैज बीन स्पीकिंग एंड राइटिंग अ लॉट। एंड आज हम इनसे एक चीज जानना चाहेंगे, दुनिया का एक सबसे बड़ा एम्प्लॉयर इज द रिटेल सेक्टर। रिटेल अब बहुत ड्रास्टिकली और ड्रामेटिकली चेंज हो रहा है, क्योंकि अब स्टोर्स खत्म हो रहे हैं, रिटेल आउटलेट्स कम किए जा रहे हैं, एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली Amazon को उतने डिलीवरी बॉयज नहीं चाहिए होते जितने किसी भी ब्रांड को सेल्समैन चाहिए होते हैं। सो हाउ डज द सिनेरियो ऑफ वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट एम्प्लॉयर्स इन द वर्ल्ड गोइंग टू चेंज? किस तरीके की स्किल्स ये बच्चों में चाहेंगे, किस तरह की शिक्षा ये चाहेंगे कि दुनिया कैसे बदलनी चाहिए या ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होना चाहिए? So a very warm welcome to Mr. Arif Iqbal Sheikh, who's the Group CEO and Chairman of the Governing Council of Quality Group from Tanzania. So Arif ji, a very warm welcome to you to the platform. The next 5 minutes are yours.
Thank you. मेरे ख्याल से जो भी बातें कर रहे हैं हम लोग, एजुकेशन ऑब्जेक्टिव और चेंज, it is nothing but a rocking chair syndrome. Lot and lot of talks, but there is no movement forwards. As a consumer of all education institutes who's providing us the, say, employee, we have 12,500 employees working in 34 countries from 19 nationalities, from Ivy League colleges, and we have 98 SBUs, right from IT, retail, real estate, fish exports, agricultures, malls. I'm really shocked that the education objective need not to be reformed. It need to be reinvented. The problem is, our objection, the objective of education is changing? I'm sorry, they are not changing. They're still that 125-year-old Carnegie system of giving grades. It is not changing that. Our still curriculum is still structured around that one. It's too much emphasis on passing exams. And there's nothing in terms of preparing our children for life skills like team working or collaboration or creative thinking, nothing absolutely. Still, if you go to a school, our school's objective is to fill the children with knowledge. I mean, come on, this is a 100-year-old system. The knowledge is constantly changing, is evolving. Today's knowledge is free of cost, you know. It is not important how much next person do you know about it. It is what you do with the knowledge. Are we teaching our kids about that? The world don't give a damn that how much you know about it. Still, children are encouraged to know about planets and the state capitals or the table of elements. Where is the skill and will which we need to equip our children with? The problem is how many institutes shifted the core competency from so-called knowledge to things like critical thinking, like asking right questions, or talking about collaborations, or talking about agility and adaptability, or talking about accessing and analyzing information. Too much information. And the problem is there's too much knowledge. Now, how you find out a knowledge which is right for you? Talk about curiosity and imaginations. It is nothing there. What we have done because of this wrong passing out exam thing is that we have created an economy where the people are spending money, which they need not to spend. And they are buying the things which they don't need to have. So problem is that the whole innovation based industry has gone to the completely transition to knowledge based industry. and it is not going to help. The problem in today's school is, we all schools, I'm sorry, Mr. Daksh, that most of the school like obedient students, not the intelligent students. Obedience is nothing wrong. It's a good virtue. Okay. It is devotion. It is dedication. But the problem is intelligence. If it is not there, students still, schools are afraid of the different students. They always say it's a difficult student. No, they are different. They are not difficult. The problem is, unless the school changes completely, I'm saying reinventing, you will keep generating the babus, okay, and the clerks. Or maybe clerk, you may call it IAS or IFS, but I will call them a clerk. You need innovation, which has died long ago when India was called Sone Ki Chidiya. Thank you, Daksh.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayush. So to summarize where you started, आपने पूरी बातचीत को एक प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच वाला एक सेट दे दिया, बिकॉज वही हम आपसे चाहते भी थे, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री जो है वो अगर एकदम रूथलेस नहीं होगी तो ग्रो नहीं करेगी, और वो उसकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस को भी रूथलेस होना होगा, नहीं तो शिक्षा ग्रो नहीं करेगी, बिकॉज दैट्स द वे एजुकेशन रियली वर्क्स. हम एक रॉकिंग चेयर सिंड्रोम में स्टक हैं, ये बात बहुत बड़ी हकीकत है, बिकॉज व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ इंडिया या शायद दुनिया भर की एजुकेशन की मैं बात करूं तो यहाँ पे चेंज या इनोवेशन सबसे लास्ट में आता है, एंड एग्जीक्यूशन हियर इज द बिग व्हाइट एलिफेंट दैट डज नॉट मूव सो इजीली. तो वहां पे बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हैं. एजुकेशन नीड्स रीइन्वेंटिंग, ग्रेडिंग से आगे बढ़ना होगा, नॉलेज भरने की जगह नॉलेज का यूज सिखाना होगा या एप्लीकेशन सिखानी होगी, दैट्स मोर इंपॉर्टेंट. स्किल एंड विल, इसमें शायद ये दोनों पोर्शंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं कि आपके पास स्किल की कैपेबिलिटी बिल्ड करना और साथ में एक अच्छी इंटेंट और विलिंगनेस काम करने की बिल्ड करना, क्योंकि चैलेंज ये है अगर स्किल भी आ जाती है तो विल नहीं आती है, और वो लाने के लिए आदमी को अपनी बहुत सारी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ खर्च करनी पड़ती है जब वो फाइनली अपनी इंडस्ट्री की इंटेंट समझता है, एंड देन ही इज एबल टू अलाइन टू व्हाट ही इज ट्राइंग टू डू. एंड टू मच इंफॉर्मेशन हाईवे पे दुनिया है. हम लोग अभी तक इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन अब 4.0 में घुस रहे हैं, जो कि टिपिकली शायद इंफॉर्मेशन से भी नेक्स्ट लेवल है, विच इज स्किलिंग और उस नॉलेज का यूटिलाइजेशन, इकोनॉमी ऑफ कंज्यूमरिज्म. एंड बहुत अच्छे आपने दो पैराडॉक्सेस बता दिए, दो पैराडॉक्सेस को मैं शायद आगे भी काफी कोट करूंगा, दैट ओबीडियंस वर्सेस इंटेलिजेंस, क्योंकि हर दुनिया के सिस्टम को ओबीडियंस चाहिए होती है, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम यह है कि अगला सिस्टम इंटेलिजेंस से बनता है. सो दैट्स वेयर द रिवोल्यूशन टिपिकली हैपेंस. एंड डिफिकल्ट वर्सेस डिफरेंट, ये दो शब्दों का अगेन हमें पैराडॉक्स समझना होगा. एंड एक बात जो हम लोग अभी हमेशा से शिक्षा में देखते हैं, विच इज अंडरलाइंग पैराडॉक्स विच इज ग्लोबली देयर, कि हम अपने से पिछली जनरेशन से पढ़ते हैं और अगली को पढ़ाते हैं. तो दो जनरेशन का गैप हम हमेशा आगे लेके जाते हैं, जिसका अब पाठ पाना या उसको खत्म करना क्रिटिकल हो गया है, because now we don't know what are we preparing the kids for. So now it's time to listen to the real warriors, the real practitioners, जो हर दिन ये लड़ाई कर रहे हैं, बहुत छोटे से बच्चों से शुरू होकर के उनको कॉलेज मटेरियल तक बनाने तक. So let me now invite the first school leader for today. And मैं इनको स्कूल लीडर बोल के ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि इनके पास इस इकोसिस्टम की डीप नॉलेज है. इसको किसी भी तरीके से बिरेटिंग टर्म ना लिया जाए, बिकॉज दीज पीपल नो एजुकेशन मोर देन एनीबडी. क्योंकि मैं एक चीज जो समझ चुका, शिक्षा में सबसे डिफिकल्ट काम उस छोटे से बच्चे को पढ़ाना होता है, क्योंकि बड़े होने पर वो एक्टिव लर्नर हो जाता है, लेकिन जब तक वो पैसिव लर्नर है, उसे एंगेज और एजुकेट करना सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है. सो लेट मी नाउ इनवाइट मिस्टर श्रीनिवासन श्रीराम, who is the principal of the Man School, Delhi. Srinivasan ji, over to you for the next 4 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Daksh, and my sincere greetings to all my fellow panelists, and thank you for having me on the show this morning. Ma'am Niharika and Mr. Arif spoke very well in introducing the topic as to what exactly has been the concept of the objective of education, and whether it should be changed or not to be changed. But if I talk about the overall objective, I would say that there are two aspects to it. One is the bigger aspect, which of course remains the same since the time we have known to understand this education, and that has been to produce good individuals who can have employability skills and who can, as ma'am said, live a life with dignity. That has been the broad aspect. But if you talk about the macro aspects of the objective of the education, the way we go about in delivering or bringing the change, I think there has been a massive change, and it's still happening. The new education policy, which has been, which has come out recently, announced by the government of India, is a proof to it. The kind of changes that they have brought in, has been revolutionary, and I think that's the way to go. Now, let me give you a small introduction about what happened in terms of the overall objective of education since 1968. At that point in time, the major objective was to promote national progress, have a sense of common citizenship and culture, and to strengthen national integration. A very, very broad topic, and that was very relevant at that point in time. And of course, the need for radical reconstruction of the education system to improve its quality at all stages and give much attention to science and technology was something which they valued a lot at that point in time. Somewhere in the late 80s, the same national education policy at that time reinforced that the state, that the education should further the goals of socialism, secularism, democracy enshrined in the Constitution of India. So they related with the Constitution, and the education should strive to promote the values such as Indians' common cultural heritage, egalitarianism, democracy, secularism, equality of sexes, protection of environment, removal of social barriers, inculcation of scientific temper, and so on and so forth. Come to 2020, it's a completely new paradigm. We talk about the cognitive capabilities and capacities, both fundamental capacities of literacy and numeracy, and higher order cognitive capacities such as critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and so on and so forth, along with social, ethical, and emotional capacities and dispositions. So as you see, the very aim of these national policies by the Government of India, which we normally follow, has undergone a change. So to say that the objective of education hasn't changed may not be the right thing to say. We have undergone a huge change in terms of the whole aspect at the macro level, how we talk about the change in education. Coming to the major points today, education is a holistic proposition, which is inclusive and equitable in nature, rather than in earlier times, it was more of an academic oriented, padhai karo, and that's more than sufficient. Of course, with due respect, I don't deny that many schools offered value education, which has been there in the system for a very long time. But by and large, many schools concentrated too much on academics. Today, we have a holistic education. When I say holistic, we talk about academic, sports, co-curricular, skill development, which ma'am's talked about, has become very, very relevant today. The importance of value-based education, and of course, the life skills, very, very important today. The very emphasis on ECC, the early childhood care education, has become so very important, which has been neglected all these years, is again a move in the right direction, I would say, as an objective, a change in the objective of education, because unless and until we give a very strong foundation to the early childhood years, there is very little that we can achieve at the later stage, which the government has realized, and I think it's a move in the right direction. To shift from a curriculum-centric approach to a child-centric approach. Earlier, it was all about curriculum. It's a syllabus diya aur usko.
Thank you so much, Srinivasan sir. The first time slot was over, but we will try to come back to you. And to summarize, जहां आपने शुरू किया कि जो मैक्रो एस्पेक्ट्स हैं वो सारे के सारे करीबन सेम ही हैं, लेकिन माइक्रो एस्पेक्ट्स में बहुत सारे चेंजेस आए. आपने 60s से लेके 2020 तक की पूरी एनईपीएस की जर्नी बता दी, जिसमें 60s के अंदर हम लोग नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन की बात कर रहे थे, 80 के दशक में हम लोग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की बात कर रहे थे, एंड 2020 में फाइनली हम लोग कॉग्निटिव कैपेबिलिटीज की बात कर रहे हैं. ये ट्रांजिशन अपने आप में ये समझा रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं इवन द डेमोक्रेसी ऑफ इंडिया इज नाउ मूविंग फ्रॉम बिल्डिंग अ ओनली प्रोपेगेंडा एजुकेशन to really finally focusing on the learner, कि आप उसकी capabilities बढ़ा दीजिए, because उसकी employability, उसका अपने आप को जीवन भर चलाए रखना is the next challenge. And academic to holistic का movement, from curriculum to the child का movement, this is something that's very very important, जो हमारे पूरे system में बहुत बुरी कदर से miss कर रहा था, वो NEP ने काफी हद तक पाटा है. But the biggest what I can say right now is कि शायद dilemma कहें या paradox कहें, मुझे नहीं पता सही शब्द क्या होगा, लेकिन most importantly NEP का फायदा लेकर के पास होने वाला पहला बच्चा as per the government timeline would be in 2040, जो कि काफी दूर है. So right now we need to gear up, क्योंकि शायद NEP implement होते होते बहुत समय ले लेगी, लेकिन हमें उससे पहले उसे implement करना होगा. So thank you so much, sir. Let me now invite the next speaker for today to add a little bit of an international chalk to the whole dish and उनका perspective, because UAE में education में बहुत देशों में बहुत ही drastically और बहुत ही अच्छे से काम हुआ during the lockdown. We had an interaction with a lot of schools from Abu Dhabi. We had an interaction from a lot of schools in Dubai. And Abu Dhabi में बहुत ही अच्छे से उन्होंने lockdown में education को execute किया, बहुत सारी अच्छी चीजें करी. So what does he think on the objective of education, and is it changing or is it still the same? A very warm welcome to Mr. Ramesh Mudgal, Principal, Global Indian International School from Dubai, UAE. Ramesh ji, over to you for the next 4 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Morning and thank you everybody. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. I think all the speakers, the three speakers who have been speaking since the beginning of this event, they have put very, very pertinent points with respect to from the industry background and from the skill set background and from the higher education perspective. And one of my friends, Mr. Srinivasan, has put forward the way education has actually come forward in the last 50, 70 years. So, if I speak from the perspective of education and a school leader, and especially somebody who's settled in UAE and who's actually providing an Indian education CBSE in an international setup, what comes to my mind is that education all over the world, the objective remains the same. That you cannot be specifically kind of highlighting the broader goals and objectives remain the same. That is of preparing the students for a life which can be unpredictable, which can be challenging, which can also provide opportunities. So that remains the same at the broader level. However, contextually, from country to country, based on the country's objectives, economic objectives, whether it is, for example, we have UAE 2020, and we have national agenda parameters of education. So UAE as a country has certain very, very specific goals as to what they want to achieve in the next 10 years' time. And they percolate them to all the industries and all the sectors. It could be finance, it could be communications, it could be information technology and education. So as a part of that, we here are focusing a lot on the attaining the national agenda parameters, which again focuses on not only the knowledge of the students, which is already a core part of academics, whether we education cannot deviate from knowledge. Knowledge may be changing, knowledge may be freely available, but still that knowledge has to be provided in a manner in which a student can receive it well and internalize it. It's free now, but does it mean that anybody can and everybody can a generation of students simply depend on internet to give them the knowledge? No, that knowledge has to be structured, that knowledge has to be arranged in such a manner that it makes sense to them, right? Attitudes. That is again very important objective of the education. And be it UAE or any other country, attitudes continue to play a significant role in education. Skills, most importantly, skills could be employability skills, skills could be the 21st century skills of communication, critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, compassion, concern, empathy. You can talk about many, many skills. All these skills are integrated. And whether it is any country for that matter, education boards or the regulators do not restrict the school's innovation and school's creativity. To a great extent, it is the schools and the school's leadership also and the school's vision and mission which play a significant role. So, one of the speakers was talking about agility and adaptability, managing, information, managing fact-based decision. So I think our vision is the same. We have got a vision, and vision is aligned with ensuring that the students are actually able to become successful 21st century productive citizens of the world. Talking about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is going to be a very critical expectation wherein, instead of seeking job, they should become job creators. But again, the question is, will everybody become a job creator? It may not be possible. They may not have that bent of mind. So the schools provide them the skill sets, the attitudes, and the opportunities. The education boards give an overarching, idea with respect to how these skills will equip the students to face the world that is going to be very, very challenging. So I think a holistic education framework that we follow in our school, Global Indian International School, which is 9 Gems education philosophy, is actually focusing on delightful learning, which means the learning has.
Thank you so much, Ramesh ji. The first set was over, but we'll try to come back to you because आप बहुत important बात पे थे. And to summarize, आपने शुरू किया preparing for an unpredictable life. ये major objective हमेशा education का यही रहता है. And उसके अंदर भी एक बच्चा successful जीवन अपना जी पाए, वो बहुत important है. And जैसा आपने बताया वहाँ in the UAE, the national agenda parameters उनको meet करने की कोशिश की जा रही है. वो parameters अभी globally करीबन एक जैसे ही हैं और Industrial Revolution 4.0 के basis पे बनाए गए हैं दुनिया भर के अंदर ही. एंड एटीट्यूड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो कि इंटरनेट नहीं दे सकता। वो टीचर ही दे पाएगा, वो उसका इकोसिस्टम या उसके आसपास के लोग ही दे पाएंगे। स्किल्स हैव टेकन द फ्रंट स्टेज, दैट्स फॉर श्योर, बिकॉज अब केवल और केवल नॉलेज की रिपोजिटरी होना इज नॉट द सोल्यूशन। नोबडी इज द कस्टोडियन ऑफ नॉलेज एनीमोर। नॉलेज तो शायद अब गूगल के किसी सर्वर पे है, हमें तो केवल उसका यूटिलाइजेशन सीखना है, क्योंकि अब केवल लर्निंग इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल हो गई है पूरी एजुकेशन स्पेस की। केवल पढ़ना कैसे है, सीखना कैसे है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, रादर देन द कंटेंट ऑफ इट। कंटेंट केवल एक छोटा सा इंफॉर्मेशन पार्ट रह गया है शिक्षा का। मैनेजिंग इंफॉर्मेशन एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप कैन नॉट बी द अल्टीमेट सॉल्यूशन। दिस इज समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, जिस पे मैं लास्ट में वापस आप लोगों से व्यूज चाहूंगा, क्योंकि हम इतना ज्यादा व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ इंडिया, हम लोग आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात कर रहे हैं। इंडस्ट्रियल 4.2 रेवोल्यूशन जो है वो भी यही कह रहा है कि आप एंटरप्रेन्योर्स डेवलप करें, लेकिन ये बात भी बहुत बड़ा सच है कि एवरीबडी कैन नॉट बी अ जॉब क्रिएटर। So thank you so much, Ramesh ji. Let me now invite the next speaker for today, who comes from an ecosystem जहां से हमें कुछ समय पहले we had a very senior person from UNICEF come in, and वो प्लेटफॉर्म पे आने से केवल एक ही वजह से डर रहे थे कि यार अगर मैं ये भी बोल गया कि यहाँ पे इंटरनेट 2G है, that becomes a political statement। तो हम एक ऐसे इकोसिस्टम की बात कर रहे हैं जहां की छोटी छोटी बात से बहुत लोग offend हो जाते हैं, and it becomes international news। So let me now invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Kunal Anand, Principal, Delhi Public School from Udhampur, Jammu and Kashmir। Kunal ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Mr. Gaur. And I am so delighted that I am among the bestest of speakers across India and the globe. And I would be, it would be, very difficult for me to actually streamline my ideas, because such learned people are sitting on this panel that, speaking in front of them itself would be an honor for me. However, I definitely buy the point put in by Srinivasan sir and Ramesh sir, that with the educational system objective, yes, the objective remains the same broadly, where we have to educate the child, not just make the child literate. We should not be only looking at putting across that the child should be able to read or write, but make him truly educated, as what Srinivasan sir said, holistic development in education. That is the prime objective, and that objective would remain as it is when we talk about education system. Definitely at the micro level, there are a lot of changes which has happened in the past few years, and specifically in this pandemic year, there's so much new. We can actually say the objective of education has transformed. Like what Arif sir was mentioning, that the whole objective needs to be reformed. Definitely, sir, I buy this point completely, that we do not have to produce babus and managers. We have to produce individuals who can actually work for a better world. So my thinking on this, my take on this precisely would be, when we talk about change, change is happening, and changes are important of life. You cannot just go with one set of things in your whole life. You have to make a change, and change is happening. But now what change in education is required, I think, is at the two levels. One is at the structural level. When we talk about organizational change, what Arif sir is looking from schools and colleges, that I would call it as a structural change, where the organizations, the policies, the programs, the courses need to be reformed in such a manner where we can produce what we are looking forward for. Like what Srinivasan sir very clearly mentioned about the NEP, and the change in the NEP in the past 57, 58 years is a clear example, set example of how change is being processed and how it is being taken up. So structural change, yes, because policies are coming up from a holistic development of a student, not just making them run for marks, not just making them a pace runner to just pass the examination and good marks. Secondly, what I think is very, very important is the systematic transformation, what Arif sir is looking forward for from the students. The vision of the teacher in the education strategy and the standards of the new teacher has to be looked forward for, because the teachers are the carriers of our policies. They are the ones who are carrying these children forward to make them a citizen, to make them a worker, to make them a better person with every passing day. So what is the vision of the teacher when it comes to implementing various policies, documents in the organization? It is their vision. So the vision of the teacher has to be very, very clear, and we as edu leaders have to build that vision. And the new standards of new teachers, as sir said, the primary education, early childhood education is something which we really need to focus on to produce the right kind of students, workers, helpers, and the ones who are taking the world ahead. So my take on this change, yes, is there, and structural change and systematic transformation is very, very important. Thank you, Gaur. Bang on 4 minutes.
थैंक यू सो मच कुणाल जी. टू समराइज, ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ एजुकेशन जो है वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन उसमें हुआ है और 2 लेवल्स पे हुआ है. आप लोग उसको एक तरीके से सिस्टमैटिक कह दीजिए, एक स्ट्रक्चरल कह दीजिए. स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज बहुत ज्यादा नहीं हुआ है, व्हाट वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड एज ऑफ नाउ. इवन व्हेन यू टॉक ऑफ द एनईपी, तो उसमें बस नए और स्ट्रक्चर्स पैदा कर दिए गए हैं जो कि करंट स्ट्रक्चर को और स्ट्रेंथन करेंगे. लेकिन व्हेन वी हैव टॉक टू सो मेनी एजुकेशन लीडर्स, तो हमें एक चीज लगी, स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज में मेजरली हमें फ्रीडम चाहिए, और वो फ्रीडम हमें अभी उतनी हद तक नहीं मिल पाई है, और वो खैर दुनिया में कहीं भी किसी भी डेमोक्रेसी में उतनी ज्यादा नहीं है. एंड इसके ऊपर काफी काम होना चाहिए. सेकेंडली, जब हम बात करते हैं इतने सारे चेंजेस की, इतनी बढ़िया पॉलिसी की, जो कि इतने इंप्लीमेंटेशन हमसे चाहती है, इतने एग्जीक्यूशन चाहती है, एंड फाइनली द एजुकेशन बजट गोज 6% डाउन. तो जो स्किल और विल की बात थी आरिफ साहब की, वो वापस यहाँ पे आ गई कि हमने एक वापस पैराडॉक्स खड़ा कर दिया कि हमने एनईपी तो ले आए, लेकिन हमने उसका खर्चा कम कर दिया. एंड व्हेन वी नाउ टॉक, अभी ज्यादातर स्टेट्स में व्हेन यू टॉक ऑफ इंडिया, हमारा एजुकेशन बजट ज्यादा से ज्यादा 11 से 14% के बीच में ड्विडल करता है. सबसे ज्यादा बजट इंडिया के अंदर दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट का है, वो भी करीबन 23% का है. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ इंडिया, क्योंकि यहाँ पर डिजिटल डिवाइड बहुत बड़ा है. भारत सरकार की रिपोर्ट ये कहती है कि जब आपका लॉकडाउन लगा था, तब से लेकर के अभी तक करीबन 60% ऑफ द लर्नर पॉपुलेशन कुड नॉट एक्सेस एनी फॉर्म ऑफ एजुकेशन ड्यूरिंग लॉकडाउन. तो हम अलग तरीके के चैलेंजेस को फेस कर रहे हैं. एंड जहां आपने अपनी बात कंक्लूड करी कि टीचर्स आर द कैरियर्स, ये बात बहुत बड़ी हकीकत है. टीचर रीढ़ की हड्डी है पूरे एजुकेशन इकोसिस्टम का, लेकिन उसका सबसे कम ध्यान रखा जाता है और उसका कैरियर सबसे कम एस्पिरेशनल है. तो इस चीज को हम कैसे सुधार सकते हैं, इस पे हम बात करेंगे. सो नाउ वी हैव लिसन्ड टू ऑल द स्पीकर्स फॉर टुडे. द नेक्स्ट 5 to 7 minutes इज एन ओपन फ्लोर. If you got muted, आपकी कोई बात आप नहीं बोल पाए थे, तो this is the right time to put it through. So I would request anybody who wants to speak next, आप मुझे या तो हल्का सा इशारा कर दें तो मैं आपका नाम ले लूं. And next is, it's an open floor now. हाँ, आरिफ साहब.
Daksh, I'm very disappointed, okay, because still we are anchored in the past. We are talking about our 60s and 90s and 80s. We're still anchored there. If we talk about social integration of 60s, are we socially integrated? Even now, we are not connected. We want to correct our student, but unless we connect with the student, we can't correct them. Still, how many Bookers, how many Nobel Prizes, how many Grammys are coming to India? We're still going through, because student does what teacher want. Teacher does what principal want. Principal does what ministry want. And ministry wants something where they're going to get the vote. Absolutely nonsense. Sorry, pardon my language. Number one, we still are talking about individual achievement. How many grades GPA I'm going to get? Rather, innovation happens in a team, not individuality. You talk about celebration are rewarded. First position, GPA rewarded. Team sport, where's the team work in schools? We are talking about entire school system on penalizing the mistakes. Whereas innovation happens when you fail early and fail often. How many schools reward the failure? Come on, tell me. We still go on this passive learning, information. So I don't know where the schools are grounded in innovation. Nothing, absolutely. We are scared. We are afraid. We don't ask right questions. We keep talking last 60 years, so many things. Why Skill India is not successful in this country? How many companies registered? How many Hyundai happened here? How many Samsung happened here? Why we still carry the bowl in our hand in front of everyone? Why there are not many Serum Institute of India in this country? When Serum makes a vaccination again based on technology from Oxford, you have world-class labor. I mean, say you are become like a bonded labor here. Why don't we have someone who innovate? I mean, so some people, number of schools in India are equivalent to some countries' population. I travel to 73 countries. I speak to colleges like Estonia, to MIT, but I've never seen such a misery in Indian schools where people are still bonded labor, be it schools or whatever. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Arif, while the sentiment can be absolutely understandable, I mean, from where you're coming, the expectation of the improvement that is expected, or the pace of development in terms of education, in terms of the output from the students is expected. I think it's a very complex scenario. I'm sure you also agree probably with the fact that India is a very complex country that is actually grappling with multiple levels, multiple kinds of, whether it is the language, whether it is the community, whether it is the regional aspirations of the people, whether it is the gap between the haves and the have-nots and the education. I mean, infrastructure, there are so many complicated challenges. So in a country of 135 crore people, to bring in the amount of innovation that we are talking about over here, it may take some time. While efforts are happening from at the government level also, I'm sure, because of the NEP, national education policy, and if at the individual school level there are innovations happening, okay, which may not get, schools may not be able to produce probably Nobel Prize winners or things like that. What they become at a later stage is a different issue. And we also have the issue of brain drain, right? So we also have, when students attain a certain level of expertise, their aspirations change. Probably they want to explore somewhere else, right? So it's a very complex issue. That does not mean that the schools are not making the effort. Maybe the percentage of schools which are bringing about the changes, which have become torchbearers, maybe less, but every school is making an attempt at its own level to some extent. Also, another point is, who's driving the ultimately? Look at the perspective from the point of view of the parents, okay? Because it is the parents, if we talk about the private education, it's mostly the parents who drive the entire narrative as far as the this one is concerned, education is concerned, or what they expect from a school. While school has its own perspective, at the same time, parents also become part of that perspective. So they expect that their child becomes ready for college education. So I think all these complex issues are playing their roles, while at the same time schools are making changes, because schools have started. There are schools which are not running without textbooks. There is no textbook happening. The way the lessons are taught is completely different. There may be lessons which are taught not in classrooms, outside the classroom, with technology, without technology. There are multiple ways happening. There are schools like us who are running entrepreneurship curriculum for the students, leadership curriculum for the students. Why are we doing all that? We are doing all that so that we toe the line of industry expectations, and we anticipate that there are certain changes going to happen over the next 10-15 years, and we want our students to be ready to face that kind of a changing world.
Absolutely. आरिफ साहब ने एक इंडस्ट्री पर्सपेक्टिव दिया, और सच बात है, इंडस्ट्री को उतना एग्रेसिव होना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, क्योंकि इतनी एग्रेसिव नहीं होगी तो शायद आगे एक्सपेक्टेशंस परकोलेट नहीं होंगे. एंड रमेश जी ने उसकी कॉम्प्लिकेशंस कितनी ज्यादा है उस पे इलैबोरेट किया. थैंक यू सो मच. श्रीनिवासन जी वांटेड टू स्पीक, सो श्रीनिवासन जी, ओवर टू यू.
Yeah, I think I do agree with what Arif Saab says, but Arif Saab, we have been through this, the depth of mudslinging and this nonsense for a very long time. To come out of it, we are neck deep into it. It needs time to come out. So please, these NEPs and the new initiatives by the government are moves in the right direction. So let's have an open mind and accept it. And unless until we have a positive mindset, forgetting about the past and then taking it up with a new zeal, things are not going to change. So I think we are moving in the right direction. We require the support of the entire education fraternity and people like you who can, guide and then help the people to transform with the measures that are implemented by the government. I do agree with you that there has been a lot of, wrongdoings that have happened in the past, but let's look at the future and be positive. That's my, take on this.
Thank you so much, Srinivasan ji. Niharika ma'am wanted to speak something. Ma'am, over to you.
So, Arif ji, I understand your impatience, and I completely am with you on that. And I also hear the school leaders say what they are saying. But as somebody who receives the, who has received the best of the students from the IITs and so on and so forth, I can tell you that I'm equally impatient. Yeah, मेरे को बहुत खराब लगता है कि एक IIT दिल्ली का मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर पास करके उसको ये नहीं पता है कि पेडेस्टल फैन कैसे काम करता है, या उसको ये नहीं पता है कि डोर स्टॉपर का मैकेनिज्म क्या है. तो ठीक है, हमने IITs क्रिएट कर लिए, हमने सब कुछ क्रिएट कर लिया, पर हमने किसी लेवल ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एंड एक्सीलेंस नहीं पैदा की है. ये हमारे ऊपर, हम सबके हाथों पे है, ये खून हम सबके हाथों पे है. तो आई थिंक वहां पे हम सबको देखना पड़ेगा कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं और क्या गलत कर रहे हैं, और हम NEP या हम प्रॉब्लम्स के पीछे नहीं छुप सकते हैं. हमने कई साल छुप लिया है, एंड आई थिंक अब टाइम है कि हम अपने हाथों में लेकर कहें कि हमें क्या ठीक करना है.
वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट जो आपने कहा कि इंटरेस्ट इन एक्सीलेंस, ये बात बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है कि आप जो कर रहे हैं उसको बहुत अच्छे तरीके से कर पाए और उसके हर स्तर पे कर पाए। बिकॉज इंडिया में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो कमी रह गई, हम लेबर को या काम करने की अच्छी ब्रांड पोजिशनिंग कर ही नहीं पाए। हमारे यहाँ डिग्निटी ऑफ लेबर नहीं है, इसलिए बहुत सारी चीजों से हम शाय अवे कर जाते हैं केवल अपनी व्हाइट कॉलर की वजह से। सो वी नीड टू फर्स्ट डिग्निफाई दैट, उसकी पोजिशनिंग वापस अच्छी करनी होगी। कुणाल जी कुछ कहना चाह रहे थे। कुणाल जी, ओवर टू यू।
वेल डेफिनेटली, थैंक यू। बिल्कुल सही जैसे आपने कहा कि आरिफ सर ने बताया और निहारिका मैम ने बताया, अग्रीड विद इट, बट मैं थोड़ा यहाँ डिफर करूंगा, बिकॉज व्हाट आई थिंक, इफ वी से दैट स्कूल लीडर्स और स्कूल टीचर्स and schools are not innovating without any policy framework. I'm not talking about NEP here, or I'm not talking about any other frameworks over here, that this, the teacher, of course, the teacher would do what the principal says, principal would do what the CBSE says, and CBSE would do what the minister says. I completely agree with you. But sitting on a chair of an educational leader for years together, like Srinivasan sir is a much seasoned educationist, school leaders are not just being defined by the policies set by the government. Innovations are happening in the schools, probably not of the Nobel Prize level winners, but the kind of innovations happening in the school, what Ramesh sir also pointed out, that the learning is being very differently put across to the students now. Learning is not just being put across under the four walls of the classroom. Learning is on ground. Learning is on practical. Again, not practical in the laboratories, practicals on the ground, when the kids are being exposed to numerous things which they can work up on. And the school gives the students a vision, a start. From there they can think and develop their own criteria where they wish to go ahead in the future. School cannot decide what the student would be in future. We can only have a level to them. Okay, fine, we can give you skill education, we can make you educated, we can make you literate. But then how would you pursue your higher education? Like what Niharika ma'am very, very clearly said, that having IITs is there, that is always there, but what small mechanisms and small things are not being taught over there clearly. So this is what needs to be done. I am not saying that higher education is not doing their part. Higher education, you have even more challenges than what the school education has at this point of time. But the fact remains is, we cannot say that the schools are not innovating. I think the best example for this would be this pandemic. This pandemic where a school, I have a school in Udhampur, which is in between Jammu and Srinagar, 70 kilometers from Jammu. We are working on a 2G technology for the last 11 months. I had to put this across, Daksh, because this is how we have innovated. Teachers went on to even turn a telephonic call to tell the students what the lesson is all about. How difficult it is to have an online session, registration, checking the notebooks, giving the examination papers. It is rather impossible for a teacher to handle 6 classes online. So this is innovativeness, how they have innovatively come out with these ideas. Me and you are sitting after 1.5 hours, even we will feel bored. We would like to take off from these online sessions, Zoom classes. Kids are sitting there for 6 hours. It is the teachers' innovations. They have made the children sit down for 6 hours. So it is happening. But yes, Arif sir, it will going to take a long time. It's not going to be an overnight thing happening. But innovations, I strongly put across, are happening at the school levels, and school leaders, especially school teachers, are putting up their best test in making this thing happen in the world. That's my call.
Thank you so much, Kunal ji. Ramesh ji had raised his hand. Ramesh ji, over to you.
Yeah, so I think 40 years ago, somewhere around 30, 40 years ago, in the schools, especially the government-run schools, I remember, because I had seen it in my hometown, there used to be something called, multi-purpose high schools. Multi-purpose high schools not only taught the typical scholastic subjects, but there used to be some workshops within the school itself. That workshop probably taught something related to electricity, electronics, something woodwork, and things like that. Now, over a period of time, that has disappeared. I don't see that happening either in the government schools, but what is happening in some of the schools, but especially the private schools, I think some of the schools have taken the initiative, including mine, I could say, is that we have something called a maker space. We have created a maker space in the school environment where these opportunities are being provided. There are tools, there are resources, there are people who can guide the students. There are weekly challenges, monthly challenges which are posed to the students. Those students actually can come, transform their ideas into reality, come to the maker space, use the tools, cut things, break things, unscrew them, open them up. We even ask the parents to donate their old laptop, old tablets, old television, any electronic device which is not working, so that our students can play with them. I think that's the kind of environment that needs to be brought in, and probably all of us can do a little bit in that direction. I think that's what I wanted to say.
Bilkul. So we are trying to innovate. Arif Saab wants to speak. Arif Saab, over to you.
Sorry, I'll take 2 more minutes. One, Neharika ji will agree. In MIT, they always say if you have a complex problem, you need to have a simple solution. Okay, we cannot hide behind continent in country kind of scenario. Number two, I give you an example. My son topped from the biggest university in US, and he was invited to give graduation speech. And I got a heart ache, while he was talking. He was criticizing university on that dais, including country, saying that how hypocritical the institute is, and everyone was clapping. Can I visualize that kind of situation in India? Number one. Number two is, every time we talk about change, paradigm change or shifting, we talk about how difficult it's going to take time, how much time. Can we put up a milestone? Or it's going to be, we are going to play a football without goalpost. That next 10th century, we keep talking that we need some more time. When I was making first mall in the country, the people say, oh God, you are making a blunder. We need still 20 years from this one. When I was opening a first retail chain in India, they said, oh God, so many people already failed. It will give 10 more years and we'll be ready for this one. We will never be ready. I was given, Dakshi, I'm fortunate in last 4 years, 4 different prime minister and president give me award. And the last president who was fortunate to be in this continent told me, you are so annoying. After giving me award, he said, you are so annoying. You ask so many uncomfortable questions. I think every one of us, we are all good. We are doing all right thing, right direction. But to change something, we need to have courage to ask right question. We need to ask our students to ask right questions. Okay. And before that, we need to become a role models and say, yes, we are going to ask the right question. We need to make a complete titanic changes in our system. It is a wrong, I insist, it's the wrong objectives of education of today. We need to change. I need to have everybody Nobel Prize coming to my country, every Grammy. I'm not saying that make them a Vijnanic and all this one. Make them a good singer, yeah, for God's sake. Make a good actors out of it. Get 5 Oscars this year to this country. Use whatever good, there's a lot many things good in our system, right? Use that, but build upon this one. Sorry to take more time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arif साहब. आपने एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट पे पूरी टॉक को आप ले आए, जहाँ पे वो कंक्लूजन टाइम आ भी गया. इजराइल के स्कूल्स में एक बहुत अच्छी प्रैक्टिस है जो उन्होंने शुरू कर रखी है, जो हमने वन ऑफ द स्कूल्स वी हैड ऑन दिस वेरी प्लेटफॉर्म टू शेयर दिस आइडिया विद अस. वहाँ पे एवरी मॉर्निंग द फर्स्ट पीरियड दैट दे हैव इन देयर स्कूल्स, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट एवरी चाइल्ड डज इज दे हैव टू ब्रिंग अ व्हाई क्वेश्चन टू द क्लास. रोजाना सुबह एक व्हाई पूछना पड़ता है किसी ना किसी चीज का. वो क्वेश्चन किसी भी चीज पे हो सकता है जो बच्चे को कहीं पे भी मिले, और उस सवाल का जवाब उस टीचर को उसी दिन में ढूंढ के देना होता है कि वो व्हाई आज के आज रिजॉल्व हो जाना चाहिए. और अगर वो व्हाई एक दिन से ज्यादा चल जाए तो बच्चों को उसका मिल के सोल्यूशन ढूंढना होता है कि उस व्हाई का सोल्यूशन क्या है. सो आई थिंक इनोवेशन स्कूल लेवल पे शायद एटलीस्ट थॉट लेवल पे तो चालू की ही जा सकती है. एंड द रीजन जिस वजह से ये प्लेटफॉर्म्स जो हम लोग बना रहे थे पहले बड़े कंड्यूसिव थे, ओवर अ कोर्स ऑफ टाइम हमें बहुत अलग अलग तरीके के रिएक्शंस यहाँ पे मिलने लगे, वाज वेरी सिंपल. एजुकेशन अभी तक साइलोज में थी. School education, higher education, industry, skilling. Or now, once we have seen COVID, the world now knows that silo is broken और सब एक साथ आ गए हैं. So अब वो transition थोड़ा और difficult, थोड़ा और challenging हो गया है. But yes, I think you are very right. Let's put a timeline on the kind of change that we want all around us. So before this talk or this call comes to an end, I would like to talk a little bit about something that we do. Love World works on a very simple concept of teens inspiring teens. हम पूरी दुनिया में हर महीने ऐसे बच्चे ढूंढ रहे होते हैं जो कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, एंड उनकी स्टोरीज फिर करीबन 6500 स्कूल्स के बच्चों के साथ शेयर कर रहे होते हैं हर महीने. सो वन सच स्टोरी फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू बिफोर दिस कॉल कम्स टू एन एंड, क्योंकि इस पूरे कॉल में हम एक चीज तो समझ गए कि अनकंफर्ट या डिसकंफर्ट या अपनी कन्वीनियंस या अपना कंफर्ट जोन को तुरंत तोड़ने की जरूरत है, और तोड़ते ही उस पर एक टाइम लाइन लगाने की जरूरत है ताकि हम कुछ अचीव कर पाए. सो वन स्मॉल स्टोरी ऑफ अ टीनेजर हु राइट नाउ इज ओनली 13 years old एंड शी स्टार्टेड हर पेंटिंग करियर एट द एज ऑफ 3. अपना पहला पेंटिंग एग्जिबिट 3 साल की उम्र में लगाया, विच वॉज एन एब्सोल्यूट सोल्ड आउट हाउस. Second exhibit at the age of 7. That was also a sold out house in New York. And third exhibit at the age of 9, जहां उसे यूरोप की सबसे बड़ी आर्ट गैलरी ने बुलाया था. And वहां पे भी she had a sold out show. She right now lives in Melbourne, Australia. Is only 13 years old, never went to a school, is homeschooled, and has won the title of the world's youngest professional painter. And that's Elita Andre. She's only 13 years old and she was the cover of Blub World, and she interacted with nearly 10,000 students on such a call when she told her story, her struggles to all these children. हम एक चीज जो बहुत ज्यादा भूल जाते हैं बच्चों को पढ़ाते हुए कि हम बच्चे नहीं हैं, हम बड़े हैं और हम उनकी साइकी में उतर नहीं पाते. अब जब आपने लर्नर सेंट्रिक अप्रोच ली है तो लेट्स गेट इनटू देयर शूज, देयर यूनिफॉर्म्स एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि वो किससे रिलेट करते हैं, क्योंकि बहुत सारे गांधी जी से शायद रिलेट ना कर पाए, बहुत सारे एलॉन मस्क से भी शायद रिलेट ना कर पाए, लेकिन वो अपने आस पड़ोस किसी ना किसी बच्चे से जरूर रिलेट कर जाएंगे जो कुछ अच्छा कर रहा है. So let's start celebrating failures and celebrating them often. So thank you so much, people, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks 126th episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, and if you want to attend the future sessions, you can open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much for being a part. Thank you so much.